All right, everybody. Welcome to Cool Sports Guy. My name is Tom. This is Jared, and joining me is Jared, and this is Fitzgerald again. And we will be doing the Week 7 picks. Um, Jared, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm ready to get into it, man. We have a couple of interesting games today. The very first one, we're going to jump right into it, if you don't mind. The very first one we got is actually Kansas City at Tennessee Titans. I guess I'll take the first one. I actually have the Titans winning this game, and for the simple fact that Kansas City, one, they do have a turnover issue, which I do think it's addressed, and I do think they're going to work on it and get it fixed. That being said, I don't think Kansas City's defense is going to be able to hold off Tennessee Titans. I do think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. I actually have the Tennessee Titans winning 41-38. I think it's going to have to be a game where you go back and forth. One of the games that we are skipping is Broncos, by the way, because we in our last podcast talked about that, and we all picked the Browns to win, and the Browns actually won the game. But like I did mention in our last talk, Titans, they have a lot of momentum coming into this game to beat a Buffalo Bills team just the way they did. And if they're able to do what they did last week to the Buffalo Bills defense, then I think they should be able to take care of business with Kansas City offense. This is going to be a back and forth shootout ball. For one team, it's going to be a shoot, and the other one's just going to be running the entire time. Derrick Henry on my fantasy team. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think Titans are going to come out on top. I have them 41-38. Jared?
So I hope this week we have some slightly more different opinions on games. For this one, I also did go with Tennessee. I think Kansas City, it's kind of a known thing. They're a lot better than their record shows. At the same time, their defense is absolutely atrocious, and Derrick Henry is the best running back in football and can run over any defense, even if they are good, as in the Buffalo Bills. I do think it'll be close because I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. Tennessee's defense isn't that bad, but it is the Chiefs' offense is spectacular. It is specifically because their defense is bad. I am going 45-42 Tennessee winning, so I kind of have a similar score. I just think that Kansas City's not going to have a fun time trying to stop Derrick Henry, and I don't think they'll be able to even slow him down. And I did say in the last episode I had Derrick Henry running for 4 touchdowns. So 28 of these 45 points is going to be Derrick Henry is my guess on that one.
Well, I think I'll be very much happy with Derrick Henry scoring 28 points because, like I said, I do have him on my fantasy league, and I look very much forward to how this game's going to end.
I hope I'm not playing him in fantasy.
So what did you say the score was going to be?
I put 45-42 Tennessee winning.
Okay. So, yeah,
I
do hope that we have some disagreements this week. That being said, by the way, real quick before we move on,
we don't need to talk about it.
Last week, we only disagreed on 2 games, and I just want to point out that both of the games that I picked, actually, I won. But we had some disappointments. 7-6 was your score. You had 7 rights and 6 wrongs, and I had 9 rights and 4 wrongs. Let's see how this shapes up this week.
Oh, that's out 7 and 6 does not. That sounds bad.
You might as well. You're at 8-18. You're the
I'm the Bears. Let's go.
So moving on to our next game, we have Green Bay playing Washington football team. The game is in Green Bay. What are your thoughts?
As much as I would like to say the Washington football team could beat Green Bay, that's just not going to happen. Green Bay is on an insane hot streak right now, and not even including that, they're a very good football team. I still don't think they're as good as they were last year. But Washington football team, who were very mediocre last year, are even worse this year. So I do think Green Bay has quite an advantage. Aaron Rodgers is probably going to pick apart this defense. I really don't know what happened to Washington. Like last year, their defense was like top 10, debatably top 5. and now it's like at the bottom of the league. I think just including like fantasy numbers, they give up like the most points to opposing quarterbacks. Oh, it's something like that. They're like somewhere at the bottom.
Well,
the defense is
last
bad.
year, even with that top 10 defense, they only won like 7 games.
It was this very similar thing to the Bears defense that was last year, where our defense shut down like every offense. But when you score 10 points a game, you're not going to win anyways.
Yeah.
And this year their offense can't score and their defense can't shut down anyone, so they just lose.
Yeah, that defense, it looks like, because I think Washington did a good job of people coming around the edge last year, and I think most teams are just figuring out, hey, like, just don't let them, rush the edge. You're okay up the middle. They didn't really have an up the middle rush last year or this year, it seems like, and I think defenses are taking it, or offenses are taking advantage of that.
See, because their defensive line is I think one of the better ones in the league, because you have Chase Young on one side, and then you have Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, and then Ioannidis, all super solid players. Landon Collins is kind of like a box linebacker, safety hybrid type thing. But outside of that, they don't really have a strong linebacking core, and they don't really have that great of a secondary either.
Yeah.
So maybe they can shut down Aaron Jones, but with a weak secondary, even with a great secondary, you can't shut down Aaron Rodgers. So with a weak one, Aaron Rodgers is going to pick them apart. I haven't. The score I have is closer than what the game's going to be because I think there are going to be some garbage time points. I have Green Bay 31, Washington 21.
Okay.
But I feel like it's going to be like 31-14, and then like in the last like 2 minutes of the game, Washington puts up another touchdown.
Yeah. So I'm not too far off from what you just. I have them 31-17. Green Bay obviously winning. It's also in Green Bay.
Lambeau's a hard place to play.
Yeah, it is a hard place to play, and Aaron Rodgers is very. That team, at least that offense, is very relied on Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, and then Devontae Adams. But it seems to be working, and it seems like people just can't slow them down for some reason. And as far as the Washington football team trying to be able to, or at least being able to stop the run, I don't know if that's going to be entirely possible because oftentimes when you have a really good quarterback, you do have to account for them being able to throw the ball down the field. And Aaron Rodgers is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. So they are going to anticipate him throwing the ball down the field, which means they're going to have more opportunity. It's going to be like more of a reverse play action. Typically if you run the ball, you set up play action. In this case, the play actions might allow them to set up the runs. I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah, I get you.
Yeah, but I have Green Bay taking it 31-17. I don't think Washington stands a chance. Sorry, Washington fans. That's just the truth.
Do those even exist?
What?
Do they even exist?
Yeah, the football team or whatever. Pick a name already. So next up, we actually have Cincinnati that's going to be traveling to Baltimore. Got a division game. I think it's going to be an interesting one. I think they're both actually, Baltimore keeps proving to be better and better every week somehow, despite, them having injuries. Cincinnati, they look like they put up a fight every week. And then they're kind of on and off. And that Green Bay game, I don't know who I should even tell you should have won that game because, which kicker am I picking to blame for missing a kick to say you're the reason this particular team won or lost a game? And it was funny because, I thought that game was going to be kind of close, and because the last 4 times Bengals played the Packers, it was they had I think a 3-1 record. Fun fact, but yeah, I think Cincinnati, just like always, this season they're gonna bring up a fight, and they're actually gonna put up a good fight. But at the end of the day, I don't think they're gonna beat Baltimore in Baltimore. I do have the Ravens winning the game 27-21.
27-21.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this seems to be a trend that we agree on most games. I really, really wanted to put an upset for Cincinnati here. Yeah. And I feel like if they were playing any other team, I would have picked. I just have a really good feeling about Cincinnati in this game, but at the same time, Baltimore looks unstoppable. Like I
They
don't
just
see
beat the
them losing.
brakes off the Chargers.
Yeah, that's why I. As much as I want to say that the Bengals could win this, I can at this point in the season, I don't think I can bet against the Ravens losing or bet for the
Yeah,
Ravens losing until they lose again because they look on fire.
yeah, it's impossible to do that. I mean, like which team are you picking at this point to say, oh yeah, they're just gonna go in there and beat the Ravens? Like, it's a tough one.
Especially with they have a ton of injuries and they're still like
Yeah,
playing out of this world.
yeah,
I put the final score a little bit higher scoring than yours. I have Baltimore 35, Cincinnati 28.
okay,
I think it will be close, but I still think I don't see Baltimore losing. I think Cincinnati is a really good football team. They definitely have one of the brighter futures in the league with Burrow and Jamar Chase. But as of now, I can't see them beating Baltimore.
yeah, and I think Joe Burrow's done a really good job. The first year we didn't get to see much of him. Played a couple of games and then boom, went out and he was out for the season. So we don't really know what was going to come off, but he came back, and I think he's proven to be one of the better choices in the draft. Which takes us to the next game, Carolina at the New York Giants. So here's a game that nobody really cares to watch. What's funny is I said this about Carolina last week when they were playing. I was like, I don't think anybody is Carolina and Vikings playing, and I felt like nobody cared to really. Like I was just like, I don't really care who wins this game, and I feel like that's kind of the case here for me again. Sam Darnold, the first 3 weeks he looked like, man, it was the Jets. Like this kid actually is a good quarterback. He knows what he's doing. He's great. Carolina's defense looks so fantastic. They look like, and then they turned into the Denver Broncos. This is exactly what the Denver Broncos did. Only difference is they actually get, I hate to put it this way, but they get a break this week. They get to play the New York Giants, who unfortunately is nowhere near what. Again, I picked them to win the division, just like you picked Washington.
I picked Washington. I can't even laugh.
So listen. We're just gonna cut our losses there. Admit both of those teams for what it is currently, and Giants is at the bottom of the pile. Carolina, I think, is slightly better. I don't have a high-scoring game here. I just think it's just going to be defenses going at it, mainly because of offensive struggles. I got Carolina winning the game 17-14.
Okay, so I hate to say it, but we agree again. Wait till we get to the games that I guarantee you we aren't going to agree on all of them. I do have some upsets, unless you have those exact upsets. I picked Carolina to win this. I know Sam Darnold, like you said, started off super hot and then fell off a cliff and is back seeing the ghosts. I know this is like a very obvious thing to say, but I feel like a big reason is McCaffrey being out.
Oh yeah, it is.
Which I think is a reason. Is it a great reason to go from being looking like a actual starting caliber quarterback to looking like a bum of the NFL? No, but at the same time, their entire offense revolves around McCaffrey, and I don't even think their backup running back is that bad. But McCaffrey to him, Chuba Hubbard from Oklahoma State, big drop off.
Yeah,
and I think Sam Darnold needs to not. I mean, we've been 3 weeks without McCaffrey now. He should have learned by now. He doesn't have to rely on Christian McCaffrey. He has DJ Moore, one of the better receivers in football, very underrated. And then Robbie Anderson is also pretty solid. Like, he has weapons. I think they need to slightly adjust how their offense is ran. And
he also needs to work on his decision. I can't say that word right now. Making. I decided to say the wrong word there. His decision making, he needs to work on that, I think, a bit more. He just, oftentimes that will cause you to turn the football over. And, Christian McCaffrey, if he would have stayed healthy, you can argue is probably the best running back in football. And yes, I'm saying that with Derrick Henry playing the way he is right now. And you can clearly tell how heavily relied Carolina, just like you said, is on Christian McCaffrey, or at least that offense is. And yeah, Sam Darnold is being exposed to it without him, it seems like.
I'm gonna put a little bit of a hot take here. I think if McCaffrey was not hurt, what are the Panthers are like 3-3 right now? I
think they're 3-3, yeah.
I say they're probably more like 4-2, 5-1 if McCaffrey doesn't go down.
Yeah.
I'd say 5-1. I think they definitely beat Minnesota if they have McCaffrey.
Fair enough.
But I'd say 5-1. I think McCaffrey is just too big of a part of that offense for them to lose.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if Tennessee loses Derrick Henry right now,
then they lose every game of the season.
Pretty much. Maybe they'll beat the Jets. But what did you have a score?
I have a little bit higher scoring, and I have Carolina 27, Giants 20. I also would like to point out the Giants are going to be missing people. Barkley's out. I think Galladay's out.
Yep.
Evan Ingram, John Ross, Sterling Shepard, and I think Slayton are all questionable. Like they got some injuries to the offense. So I still think 20 is not that. I mean, for the Bears, 20 is a miracle, but for like an actual offense, it's not that high.
I also don't think Daniel Jones is your quarterback.
See, at the beginning of this year, I was seeing a lot on like ESPN and NFL Network that people were like, "Oh, Daniel Jones looks like he could be the franchise quarterback here."
Yeah.
I didn't think he was the franchise quarterback when they took him. I was also very wrong in who I thought they should have taken. I did think Dwayne Haskins was the pick. In my mock draft, I had them getting Haskins. That probably was even worse, so, I mean, good for them. You got a slightly better quarterback who's also not your answer.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think if they're where they're at right now, at this point, I would say, hey, just lose the game and maybe see either trade up for picks and maybe you can get a good quarterback, or you can just hope there's a good one next year. I don't really know all the quarterbacks that's going to be on this draft class coming up.
It's a very weak quarterback class.
Yeah,
Malik Willis is like the number one option, and he plays for Liberty, which is like he doesn't play that much competition.
The insurance company?
Yeah, pretty much. Because Spencer Rattler from Oklahoma was supposed to be like the number one pick, and I kind of am anti Spencer Rattler. Like I kind of despise him as a player, so I obviously don't think he'd be a very good pick. I think if this is the year you're going for a quarterback, this is not the year to do it. But
yeah, well, they need something.
Make a trade. I don't know.
I think they should bring. I think they should bring Eli Manning back.
Get you Tua. Tua you could probably get for pretty cheap.
Yeah, and I don't even know how much faith I don't think I have too much faith in Tua either.
No, I am going to ride the Tua bandwagon until it stops rolling.
It's because you have a Tua jersey.
Fine. Tua's got it. He just needs time. Tua's been so rushed, though. His rookie season, he played like 9 games, and like he didn't even play bad. He was a rookie. He was thrown into an offense with no weapons, and people were like, oh, he's a bust. Like, get rid of him now. This year, he was injured since week 2. Also given no time.
I think that is my issue with Tua, and it's nothing personal. But listen, if you're going to be injured half of the season, every season, then you're not reliable.
Well, I mean, his first season he wasn't really injured. It was just they had Fitzmagic, at quarterback.
And do you know how many times they put Fitzmagic in the second half to make them come back and win a game?
I can accept that. Yes, I still think Tua could be a good quarterback. It's just he needs time to develop.
Maybe, possibly, maybe I'm judging him too soon.
A lot of teams just do they throw their rookie quarterback. I mean, given I said that the Bears should start Justin Fields from week 1, but teams like to get they throw their rookie quarterback out there, and if he doesn't play like a superstar, immediately they're like, oh nope, he's a bust. Let's get rid of him.
Yeah, well, it's that's just how fans are now. There's no time to develop. They're just you're either great, like you come in and you play like Patrick Mahomes, or all right, who's our next pick?
Patrick Mahomes had an entire year to sit behind Alex Smith, and look what happened.
Didn't he have more than a year? Didn't he sit behind him for like 2 years or something?
No, it was just 1 year.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I mean,
but people need time to develop. See, yeah. I love the Bears to death, But Bears fans are some of the worst in the league because if one player makes like one bad play, whether it be Justin Fields or Khalil Mack, they're like, oh, they had one bad play, trade them, get rid of them, they're a bust. Like,
Bears
they
fans,
suck.
it's
Done.
not. No, it's Eagles fans are the worst fans in the league.
They don't understand that Jalen Hurts is not a bad quarterback.
Listen, real quick, while this video is not sponsored by Coca-Cola, I just want to point out that I'm really craving a Coke right now because you're drinking one and it looks really good. It looks like that can was.
We're always drinking Coca-Cola. You know, they should just sponsor us.
Yeah, they should just sponsor us. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, you wanna sponsor like 5 viewers? Like, go ahead.
Well, they can afford to.
It's like $5. Like, I mean,
it costs nothing. All right, so we talked about two teams that we clearly don't care about. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to. Wait, what was your score?
I had 27-20 Carolina winning. But right. Also, yeah, you said Carolina, Minnesota last week. No one would care about, and it was a pretty dang good game that went into overtime. So maybe this one will be pretty good. Who knows?
Yeah, but listen, a game can be really good because of two things. Two teams are really good at fighting each other, or two teams equally suck.
That is true. And the Dolphins, Jaguars in London was pretty good, and that's just because they were both really bad.
So I'm going to move on to two teams that are actually very good in the NFL this season. It's Atlanta and Miami. Talk about Tua. That was a joke if you didn't get it. Again, another game. We're just getting all these games out of the way.
Listen. Wait, you want me to go first? Because I can go first.
Oh, go first, buddy. Take it. Go for it.
Listen, the Dolphins are sitting at 1-5 right now. They need to turn it around to make the playoffs. All right, listen.
They're not making the playoffs.
They could make the playoffs. Listen. When you lose to the Jaguars and you have like a coach like Brian Flores, he is going to turn them around, at least for this game. Okay, I'm not saying the rest of the season. This game, they're going to come back and they're going to be fired up. And also the fact that Atlanta's just a very bad team. I think that the Dolphins can have a turnaround game and bounce back at least for this 1 week. And I have Miami winning 28-17. Listen, the Falcons, not a great team. Dolphins, also not a great team. But I feel like I have a very good feeling about this one. The Dolphins are going to turn it around and be fired up from a loss to Jaguars last week that made them the laughingstock of the league. They'll be fired up enough to beat the Falcons of all teams. Okay, they got this one in the bag.
And you said 28-17. 28 to 11-point game.
Yep.
Woof. All right.
Just watch it. That's gonna be the exact score too.
So we have our first disagreement.
Oh, there it goes.
Listen, both of these teams suck, right? And therefore, you never know. Maybe it's gonna be a good game just because of that. But that being said, I'm just gonna go down to the simple basics and say, at the end of the day, I think I trust Matt Ryan more than Tua.
Matty Ice.
Yeah, I mean, they are playing in Miami, but Atlanta to Miami is not like the biggest geographical difference. I mean, it's just like a 2-hour flight, but weather's going to be similar. They're going to play, and they just lost. Miami just lost to one of the worst teams in football. Miami just lost to a winless team, and yeah, I don't know how much that's going to fire them up to come and play, but Matt Ryan also, he's going to come with everything he's got. And I think he's going to come with everything he's got for the rest of the season, for the simple fact that this very well might be the last time or last season he's actually playing football. Maybe he's got a year left or two, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what his plans are. But, he is 37, 38 years old now. He went to a Super Bowl, couldn't really pull it in, obviously. But yeah, I think he's going to – I think I trust him. And I think they're going to pull this through. I do like Brian Flores a little bit more. But again, Tua still hasn't proven to me that you can trust him to win a game. So I'm going to pick Atlanta here. I have them winning 24-10.
24-10.
24-10. we'll see how that turns out. But I'm glad we have our first disagreement.
But you got that I was crazy for an 11-point difference. Then you go with 14.
Yeah, but 11-point difference the other way.
Yeah, you're 14 the other way.
No. Well, what's the other way? Miami's the underdogs here.
Are they really though?
Yeah. And
can you have an underdog when both teams are awful? Can they count as an underdog?
They have to give them one of them.
For either of those teams to ever win a game, they're the underdog. Even if they're both underdogs, they're both underdogs.
How many has Atlanta won?
I think they're both won one game.
That's so sad.
I think Miami's only won one. They beat the Patriots week 1 and then have lost like 5 straight. The Falcons beat the Jets in London. Oh, no, I think the Falcons have won 2 games.
2, 3, and 1 and 5.
Yeah, because they beat the Giants, I believe, too.
Yeah, but Falcons also had a bye week. Because Falcons have only played 5 games.
Oh, are they coming off a bye week?
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm sticking with it. Dolphins. Let's go Tua. Tua lighten them up. I'm about to change it from the Dolphins scoring 28 to 42. So Tua lighten them up.
You know, it's funny. Like a couple of days ago, when we were talking about the 49ers and we were talking about how Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator for the Falcons in the Super Bowl, and where he had a lead going into the fourth quarter, and then they lost the game, and then the same thing for the 49ers. He's the head coach. Dan Quinn was the defensive coordinator when Patriots played Seahawks, and Patriots were down 10 points going into the fourth quarter, and they came back and won. And Dan Quinn was the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons when Patriots played the Falcons.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I thought about that. I thought about that after, but I was like, that's a very fun, interesting.
Dan Quinn, where is he at?
He's currently the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys.
Yeah, him and Gus Bradley get me confused. They were both like Seahawks defensive coordinators turned head coaches. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure Dan Quinn was the defensive coordinator when they had the Legion of Boom, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, no, I think it was.
Yeah, and then so 2014, it was Dan Quinn who was the defensive coordinator, and then 2016, he was the head coach of the Falcons.
The Falcons just bad juju everywhere.
Yeah.
So what coordinator? Oh God, Robert Saleh. He's in danger. The curse is just getting passed on. Shanahan brought it to his coordinators. Robert Saleh for the Jets. The Jets are going to go to a Super Bowl though, so it's something.
When?
Listen, it's to carry on the curse. Give it like 5 years. 5 years from now, Jets in the Super Bowl, they're going to lose because they're going to blow the lead.
So 5 years from now, you think the New York Jets are going to go to the Super Bowl for the first time in franchise history?
So you have the defensive coordinator of the Seahawks. Yes, blows the lead. He becomes head coach of the Falcons and blows a lead. When the offensive coordinator becomes the head coach of the 49ers blow a lead. Who was the coordinators for the 49ers? It was Robert Saleh's defensive coordinator. I can't remember who their offensive coordinator is off the top of my head. That's just why I just went with the Jets. So it's got to be the Jets. It's got to carry on the curse.
All right, we'll see. 5 years from now, that's going to be what, 2026?
Yeah, Zach Wilson maybe won't be a bust. Who knows?
We'll see. Or maybe they have another quarterback. You think Jack Brady's going to be playing football by then?
You think who?
That's Tom Brady's son.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, who knows? I think Tom Brady can play till he's like 50, 55. I can see it.
He said it the other day that apparently he would play till he's 55.
He hasn't slowed. He's like what? Is he 44?
I saw
45
his stats from his 20s versus his 40s recently.
And he's better in his 40s.
Side by side, yeah.
Yeah, he has not
better
slowed down.
completion percentage, better everything.
Like way more yards, more touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Insane. I wish the Bears ever had a quarterback.
Man, it is insane. Yeah. I think the Bears would have been a lot of fun to watch if you guys actually had a really good quarterback right now.
I think Justin Fields will be a good quarterback.
Yeah.
With the Green Bay game, I know that there was some bad calls and stuff that gave him like the interception. He also made some bad decisions just in general. I think once he develops, I think he can be a good quarterback. I think just for now, it's our timetable for our defense and our offense aren't close enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too, but I think the only unfortunate thing that we need to consider in that is if but hey, where is how good is the defense still going to be by the time Justin Fields is developed?
Yeah, that's my only problem. We have a really old defense.
Yeah.
Max in his 30s. I mean, we have good pieces that are young. Roquan Smith is like 25, 26.
Your defense is partially starting to remind me of the Houston Texans a couple of years ago.
Where they never had a quarterback, but they had a good defense.
Yeah, and remember when they had Brian Cushing playing, and Jadeveon Clowney was still young, but with the Texans, they also had J.J. Watt. That defense was doing a tremendous job, but then it wasn't really age; it was more injuries that kind of tore that defense apart. But
yeah, Watt got hurt a lot. I feel like if J.J. Watt never had the injuries, he would be. I feel like he's already talked about as being one of the best defensive players ever, but I think he would have been talked about as the best.
Right now with the Cardinals, he's doing a fantastic job.
I feel like he would have been talked about as the best if he didn't have all the injuries, though. I'm not saying he was bad ever. He was always great. It was just got hurt a lot.
Well, right before he went to the Cardinals, and when he stayed healthy throughout that season with Houston, he actually had a really good season. So, yeah, I mean, he's doing a pretty good job with the Cardinals right now. He hasn't really had too many sacks or anything, but I do see him be very descriptive when he's.
I'm a believer. Sacks obviously are a good stat to have, but sacks aren't everything. I feel like quarterback hurries and quarterback hits are more important than sacks
just
are.
Being in their face and scaring them, man. Can you picture JJ Watt?
A lot of people don't talk about that. They're just like, oh, sacks. That's all that matters.
Yeah, no. Hey, I tell Jose all the time. It's Bill Belichick said it. Stats are for losers. You can't. Stats doesn't matter. You got to disrupt.
I also kind of agree with the whole stats to an extent matter, yes, but I don't think they're the biggest deal. It's like the players who do stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet are always the ones that play better. Like it's just how it goes.
Right. I mean that's the game. That's what I love. That's what you got to love about football. Well, listen. Talk about the guy who says stats are for losers. Billy B takes on. I think this will be a very easy win. They're going to play the Jets. The game's going to be in New England. And my thoughts are that New England Patriots are just going to steamroll the New York Jets, and this game is going to end 28-6. And Mac Jones will look phenomenal.
I like Mac Jones. He's surprised me this year.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I've been saying it from the beginning that I really like Mac Jones for the Patriots. Even seeing the way he was playing in preseason, I was like, it's not really surprised Cam Newton was gone. I don't think it was just the COVID vaccine issue. I think Cam Newton was a little too inconsistent to be playing anymore.
I think Mac Jones was the most.
I never liked Cam Newton.
What? I love Cam Newton.
Really?
One of my favorite players ever. Like when I was younger and he was on the Panthers that Super Bowl year, I loved Cam Newton.
Okay, first of all, the fact that you said when you were younger and he was playing on the Panthers Super Bowl.
Listen, that was 2015. I was a kid. I was.
How old are you?
I was no, because if it was the Super Bowl was in February 2015.
Well, February 2016 was.
Okay, so yeah, I was 15 then. I was 15 and a half.
Are you a 2000 baby?
Yeah, I am.
Oh my god. To our viewers out there, we're just gonna pretend like that part didn't happen. But hey, listen, I have the Patriots winning 28-6 because the Jets sucks. That's my take on that.
We have very similar scores on this one.
What?
We have very similar score on this one. I think I will never bet on a rookie quarterback against Bill Belichick.
Fair enough.
Because rookie quarterbacks already aren't ever fantastic. When you also apply the fact that they're playing Bill Belichick, they play even worse.
Yeah.
I think the Bears, I'm not throwing hate on the Patriots. I think the Bears are a better team than the Patriots. But if we matched up against them this season, I think the Patriots would win. Yeah. Just specifically because we have a rookie quarterback, and Bill Belichick is really good about coaching his team to make the rookie quarterback make mistakes.
And his blitzes and the reads he usually give out on defense, very disguised. He does such a great job of just confusing the crap out of quarterbacks. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're good. No, I can't. Especially considering how like what he threw like 4 interceptions in like the first half last time they played. Like every
Yeah.
throw pass he
I think it
made
was
was an
3, but
interception.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
was bad. It was.
I mean, it was like, remember Sam Darnold when he was with the Jets and like they caught that mic'd up of him going to the sidelines and saying, "I'm seeing ghosts out there."
Yeah, I've referenced that like 3 times on the podcast. You do know that, right?
Yeah.
I have New England 28 and then the Jets 10. So I was very close in the score.
You give him a touchdown?
I give him a touchdown.
Yeah, it was,
Listen, you know Corey Davis was on the top 100 players of the NFL last year for some reason.
For some reason.
I don't know if you ever look at that list, but some players are just like really good and not on there, and then you have Corey Davis on the list. I know it's not the same position. You know Roquan Smith wasn't on the top 100 players, but Corey Davis is?
Yeah. So if you want your answer to why I don't really look at that list, there you go.
I look at it because I want to see how many Bears are on the list, and it's like Khalil Mack, and that's it, and then no one else. Like Allen Robinson's like.
Isn't that the case for like the last like 4 years for you?
Even the year we went in like 2018 when we were 12-4, you know.
Yeah.
We had Mack, Akeem Hicks, and Eddie Jackson, and I think maybe Allen Robinson, and that was like it.
I actually felt really bad for you guys that year when y'all went 12-4. That was the Cody Parkey field goal miss.
No, but did you know? So after that game, he had went on like Good Morning America or some morning talk show.
Good morning.
And they had asked him about like, I don't remember exactly how it was worded, so this would be like kind of vague. But they had talked to him something about how like how he practiced for kicks in Chicago when you like to the wind. It's hard to kick in Chicago, and it was something to do with like he does never put in the time. Like he would never go like you know they obviously have access to Soldier Field. You know, for the team. He would never go to Soldier Field to like practice the kicks because the traffic was bad. It was some BS excuse, and he said it on the talk show, and I'm like, my God.
Why would you say something like that after you missed a game-winning field goal in the playoffs?
It pissed me off. We have a good kicker now. It's like Carlos Santos. I love. He's a great kicker. But no, Cody Parkey is my least favorite athlete of all. I don't even count him as an athlete. He's a kicker.
Ryan Bullock is worse than Cody Parkey.
No,
he's a kicker. Yes.
No.
Yes.
First, it's Randy Bullock, but also Cody.
What did I say Ryan Bullock?
I said Ryan.
I don't know why I just said Ryan. Yeah.
But Randy Bullock is bad. I know who Randy Bullock is, but listen, the Bears were bad for so long. We go 12-4, and Mitch Trubisky put us in a position to win that game. It's like a 42-yard field goal. I could probably make a 42-yard field goal, and
you can make a 42-yard field goal.
I think I can make a 42-yard field goal.
I've kicked, and the longest field goal I've ever made, I kicked it from the 20-yard line.
That's like what, a 30-yard field goal?
Yes.
He was paid like $3 million a year to kick field goals.
Man, you know, when I was growing up, because clearly I wasn't born in this country, I didn't know how much athletes got paid, and I didn't know much about all of that. I would have just played in high school and college and just be a kicker.
Yeah, if I have kids, give me some money.
What?
So if I have kids, be like, oh, start kicking training like day one.
Kicker. Just go be a kicker. You
don't even have to like run. You just kick.
Yes. It's like 2 steps and kick. Just kick the ball.
No, Cody Parkey.
I understand there's a lot of factors in it, like the holding has to be right. There's wind. There's weather.
Yeah, I know we're kind of dissing on kickers a little bit. I respect kickers. I do not respect Cody Parkey. Cody Parkey's not an athlete. No.
Kickers kind of remind me of goalies in football.
Goalies are super important, though.
Kickers are very important too. We're talking about a guy who just lost a game because of kicking. I mean, they both have one job, but it's one of the most pressured jobs in the entire sports. I feel like kicker, like every single time a kicker misses a kick, in my head, I'm always like, you had one job. Like literally, you come to practice. You don't practice calling plays. You don't practice running different. No, like you practice like, okay, snap, hold, and kick. That's your practice for the
Yeah, they
entire.
don't even have to know plays like in the huddle or
No,
anything.
it's just like, hey, make sure the laces aren't pointing in my shoes. Like, thank you. That's it. That's your play, right? And then it's like aim and kick. But but so I always say, oh, you had like one job, but I mean, they do have one of the most like, especially like when it's not a tight game, when it's like a 1 point or 2 point game, and you go put a kicker in that position, and you're like, hey, I need you to kick this ball 40 yards through these two poles for us to win this game. Oh, by the way, we're also in the playoffs. So if you miss this kick, like you ruin everything we worked for this season. No pressure.
I fully believe that if we would have won that game, we would have went to the Super Bowl.
Who else was left when y'all? What year was that? 2017?
2017. Wait, no,
Okay.
2018.
So that
2018. It was 2018.
it was 2018.
It was the year that not the Eagles. This was the 49ers.
Rams and
right?
Patriots.
No, Rams. It was Rams. It was Rams. That's right.
Rams Patriots Super Bowl. Yeah, that
Which
was.
you know we whooped the Rams in the regular. I know the regular season doesn't mean stuff compared to the playoffs, but we whooped. So there was the Saints who were good that year, but I think we could have beat them. The
Yeah.
Rams, and I don't remember who the other team was. Oh well, the Eagles because they beat us.
Well, I think everyone thought that the Saints was probably going to win that game, and then that game like blew my mind. That Rams Saints game was like 13-13 overtime game, and it was like Rams were like one of the best scoring offenses in the league that year. And I was just like, okay.
I think we would. I think we would have beat. We could have beat the Rams. I think we definitely could have beat the Saints.
Yeah.
And then whoever the other team was, I want to say it was the Vikings, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. I gotta look that up. It wasn't Green Bay for sure because I think that's the year Aaron Rodgers had a broken shoulder.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't Green Bay.
Was it Seahawks?
It probably was the Seahawks, which the Seahawks I think we matched up with super well. But
I think Saints beat the Seahawks.
That sounds right.
Because who did y'all miss the kick to?
The Eagles.
Oh, the Eagles. Okay. And then the Eagles lost to the Saints. I think it was the Saints. That was the year. That's the year Nick Foles had to come in again.
Yeah.
Because Carson
Wentz got hurt,
and he was playing, and he actually played really well. They were driving back down the field, and they threw Nick Foles threw an interception, and it went through the hands of a really good receiver the Eagles had at the time.
Alshon Jeffrey?
No.
I'm trying to remember. That was so long ago. Those playoffs, I was just kind of like depressed.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, man.
I know we're very off topic at the moment.
But... Yeah, we're gonna get back on track because we've been doing this for over 40 minutes and we still have a couple of games to go through. So, moving on, we should do a podcast one day about our least and most exciting moments in football.
We could do that, yeah.
That'd be great. Idea.
We could do like a 5-hour podcast of just going on random tangents.
Yeah, just go off topic. We're gonna somehow end up talking about cricket.
We're talking about soccer.
Or that. But yes. Sorry. Moving on. Hey, listen. We just talked about Philly. Well, we did talk about like half the teams in sports, but Philly's gonna be playing at Vegas this weekend. The Raiders, you actually picked against them last week, and that's one of my wins over you because I told you the Broncos were a flawed team, and I also told you that Raiders might actually be better off without John Gruden. I think John Gruden may have been the reason why Raiders start off so hot each season and then plummet to the ground. So Raiders are playing Philly. I'm not going to sugarcoat it too much. I'll go right into it. I think Raiders are going to win this game. I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Raiders are going to have the early. It's going to be similar to the Bucs game where the Raiders have an early lead. I think Philly's going to kind of fight back and claw their way into the game, but I don't think they're going to quite pull out the victory. I do have Las Vegas winning 28-27.
Okay, so you have a really close one. So I'm going to point out. So I'm rocking a old Jerry Rice Raiders jersey, and you would think that means I'm picking the Raiders. But I feel like last week my record was bad because I put too much into what team I just frankly thought was better. Upsets are going to happen, and I I feel like this is going to be an upset.
Do you still think Broncos are better?
I mean, I was proven wrong. So I'm a man. I can admit when I'm wrong, and I was very wrong.
I'm
The
right.
Broncos are fake, and they were frauds the whole time. And I will not bet for the Broncos probably the rest of the season because of that. They no. But I have it also as a close game. I have it Philly 27, Raiders 24. I think the Raiders are a better team. I just think that the Eagles, they a win is coming. They fought well against some good teams. Kansas City has a bad record, but they put up a fight against Kansas City. Tampa Bay is debatably like a top 3 team in the league. They put up a good fight against them.
That game looked like Tampa Bay was just like, it's in the books. Like, let's just not even try anymore.
See, but what if the same thing happens and the Raiders do that? They could blow the lead. I know I should probably have better reasons for why there'd be an upset. I just feel an upset. That's all I'm gonna say. So I'm
How about this?
27-24.
How about it's a 28-21 game? Eagles drive down the field and they actually score. And just like they converted against Tampa Bay, they think they can convert a 2-point conversion in this game, and they think they can win it, but they actually don't get it, and that's how the game is 28-27. If that actually happens, it's on record.
I will pay you if that's what happens. Exactly.
How much?
I'm gonna go on record. I am broke. I will give you $5.
Fair enough.
Buy you a Starbucks. I don't know how much Starbucks is, but buy you a Starbucks drink.
I don't need you to buy me Starbucks drinks anymore, man. I'm okay. I'm set. Thank you. Listen, that's my Starbucks drink for the day. I do wanna real quick. I don't want to go off topic here, so when we're done with all our picks, we'll take a couple of minutes to talk. Did you watch the game last night?
I watched the highlights afterwards. I was not at home, so I didn't have the chance to watch it.
Yeah, man, it was interesting.
The Broncos put up a fight against the Browns team who had all backups.
Yeah, essentially, that's
like a 4th-string running back, the backup quarterback who hasn't started the game in like a few years.
Well, did you see Von Miller go out?
I didn't see the play, I don't think, but I knew he was hurt.
Von Miller went out, and then...
It's only a minor thing though. He should be fine. It's like a sprained ankle, I think.
Yeah, hopefully it's nothing big. I also think Von Miller's at the very end of his career. I don't foresee him playing much longer.
I believe he's a free agent after this year.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's gonna go to like a
winning team.
Yeah, I could see him going to like maybe Kansas. I know they're rivals, but I could see him going to Kansas City or something like that.
It would make sense. I mean, Kansas City can use the defensive help. So, so our next up game, we have Detroit. Talk about kneecaps at the LA Rams. Do you want to take this one?
I don't think there's really much to talk about in this game.
That's what I was like.
So they make me start with the ones that don't really matter. It's the revenge game for both quarterbacks. Two very different level of quarterbacks. I'm just gonna put it. I have the Rams winning 42-27. I don't think it'll be close. The Rams are a much better team. My boy Cooper Kupp is gonna ball out. Like it's over before it starts, in my opinion. And if I'm wrong on this game, I'm gonna retire from ever making predictions again. This is a lock. The Rams should not lose this game.
So yeah, you're right. Both of these quarterbacks used to play for these teams, and they switched. And listen, even the year when they went to the Super Bowl, I had absolutely zero faith in Jared Goff. Like, I still have zero. His own coach just called him out and said, we wish we can get some more emotion or like push out of this guy. And that's what Jared Goff is. So yeah, it is a rival game for both of these quarterbacks. And I'm going to say Matt Stafford's just going to light it up on the Lions rather than Jared Goff lighting it up on the Rams. And Dan Campbell hasn't exactly proven to me that he's on the Sean McVay level yet. That's nothing against him. I just haven't seen enough of him. And I also haven't seen a win from, his team. I'm sure he cares a lot, but caring doesn't just win the game automatically. You still have
I
to
care about the Bears, and they still
struggle. Yes, they still struggle from season to season. So yeah, I do have the Rams winning the game 31-10. Is what I actually gave them. I think Rams are just in general just a overall such a better team. And also, I think last week we were talking about how Detroit keeps putting up all these fights and they get so close in all these games. Like maybe they have it in them, and then like, boom, Sunday's game they lost. I think they put up 11 points. Who did they play this last week?
As soon as you mentioned it, my brain blanked.
Yeah, I know they put up 11 points. I can't put my head on.
I can't think of who they played.
Yeah, I can't think of it either. I'll look it up here in a second. But yeah, I just have no faith in Detroit. I have no faith in Jared Goff. And I have a lot of faith in the LA Rams. The coach, the defense, the offense, the quarterback, for sure.
They played the Bengals, by the way.
What's that?
They played the Bengals.
Oh, they played the Bengals?
I forgot they played Cincy, yeah.
Okay, so yeah. So, yeah, I just don't see Detroit getting even close.
Listen,
so
even as a rival, I respect the Lions, but like the Rams are just so much better of a team that I cannot even see an upset happening.
Yeah, they're just an all-around good team. I mean, that's what they are.
I think I have more confidence than you do in Jared Goff specifically. I'm not saying he's a star or anything close to it. I think he's a serviceable game managing quarterback. I do think Matthew Stafford. Yeah, Matthew Stafford is a million times better though. So
he has the most giveaways in the last 2 years, throughout a 2-season period. Jared Goff is the leader for giveaways in quarterbacks.
I would not have thought that.
Those fumbles, man. Him and Daniel Jones, I don't know why they can't hold on to a football.
If you count the year before, it's probably Jameis Winston with those 30 interceptions.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then Carson Wentz was on pace to beat that, but then he got benched for Jalen Hurts. So, we're talking about upsets. We're moving on. I'm gonna let you take this one. We got my boy playing rematch against Chicago from last year, but you seem to have the better quarterback. Not compared to Tampa Bay, compared to last year. Just so we're all on the same page. Who you got in this game?
I'm just going to add for context the reason that you think I'm going to go with the Bears is because I sent the bear emoji earlier. I'm not going with the Bears, sadly. I know, betting against my team. Tampa Bay is just insanely good. I think it won't be that high scoring of a game, but I do think Tampa Bay will win. They're also missing pieces, like they don't have Levante David, Gronk, or Antonio Brown.
That doesn't seem to be a big deal. At least, so on the offensive side, now having Antonio Brown and Gronk doesn't seem to be that huge of a deal for them.
So you know what the Buccaneers record is?
5-1.
Do you know the one game they lost who didn't play?
Who didn't play?
It was the only game Antonio Brown didn't play.
But
therefore, no.
Okay.
I think Antonio Brown is honestly very underrated.
Antonio Brown's being used like crazy this year. I'll give you that.
He is good. I think even when he went insane, I think he's still one of the better receivers. He's probably talent-wise a top 5 receiver still to this day.
He is one of the best receivers.
I've said that last year when they signed Antonio Brown, was it mid to late of the season? I said I'm like, this is going to be a big part if they make a championship, like a Super Bowl run. Antonio Brown is going to be a big part of that, and he was, and he even scored in the Super Bowl. I think Antonio Brown is a big part of this offense. Given I still don't think the Bears are going to beat them. Nagy is a bad coach and needs to be fired before we ever think about winning games against above 500 teams, not including the Bengals, or I guess the Raiders now. But I have the final score, 21-14 Tampa Bay.
Okay, fair enough. So I did not think you were going to pick Tampa Bay to win this game, considering that you actually picked the Bears to beat the Bears to beat Green Bay last week.
Tampa Bay is a million times better than Green Bay is, and I stand by that.
I don't know about a million. I think I would pick Tampa Bay to win a game, but I don't know I would say they're that much better.
I do have a little bit of bias, but I think
Tad.
Tampa Bay is a lot better of a team, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Yeah, look, I think Gronk missing is huge, and AB missing is huge. But that being said, Cameron Brate has played really well for this team. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, you still have a good amount of people, players that are very good. I do think compared to when they played last year, I do think the offense is so much more on track. Like they're in rhythm with each other much more now than they were at this time last year when they played the Bears. I also think that the offensive line has a better understanding of where they need to block and what they need to do. They're doing a much better job of protecting Tom Brady than they were in the beginning of last year. And because last year that game came down to literally 1 point. And I think it's going to be a close game. I have it a little high scoring than what you have it. I think the Bears will put up a good fight. But at the end of the day, I don't think they're going to come out on top this game, especially considering that the game is actually played in Tampa this time versus it was in Chicago last year. I have 27-21 Tampa Bay winning. So
I like that score more because it shows the Bears can actually maybe score points.
Well, Tampa Bay's biggest weakness right now is their defense.
It doesn't matter. Have you seen Nagy coach a game? Well, I guess it's not Nagy now; it's Bill Lazor.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Matt Nagy's just gonna be like, all right, so they have a really weak secondary. Run the ball.
That's what we do because we've played against teams like when we played the Packers. I didn't have Jair Alexander or Kevin King, and we didn't take advantage. The week before that against the Raiders, they didn't have their number 1 or number 2 cornerback. We didn't take advantage. Like our offensive coordinator and our head coach are absolutely garbage. But I'm gonna stop ranting about the Bears so we can.
Well, listen, you're a Chicago fan, and while they lose, you're still a Chicago fan. I'm from Houston, but I'm not a Texans fan. Why? Because they've never really won much. And I don't think they're going to win this week. We have Houston actually traveling to Arizona to play the Cardinals. And boy, J.J. Watt revenge game, DeAndre Hopkins revenge game. I think J.J. Watt is going to eat Davis Mills for breakfast, dinner, brunch, whatever time. I think they're playing in the afternoon. So, I have Arizona winning this game 37-10. I don't think I need to say much about this game. You said that if you're wrong on your prediction for the Rams game, you'll stop picking. I think if Texans beat the Cardinals, I think if the Texans with Davis Mills beat the undefeated Cardinals this week, I might consider stopping predictions.
I'll make a bet with you. All right. If or not really a bet because nothing happens to me, but if the Texans and Davis Mills beat the Cardinals, you have to get a Davis Mills jersey. Are you you're that confident?
I can do that. But what happens if Detroit beat Rams?
I really don't want a Lions jersey because I'm
the thing. I would love to see you in a Lions jersey.
Okay,
I don't want you to wear a Jared Goff jersey though, because you don't hate the guy.
I don't even know what Lions. I don't know their raw. T.J. Hawkinson's pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. That's what I'm trying to think of, like somebody just like.
Okay, let me try to think of my least favorite Lions player.
Okay, here's what you're gonna do. I'm gonna design a shirt for you. That's gonna say the Detroit Lions. It's gonna be their colors. Numbers are gonna be 0-0, and on the back it's gonna say Patricia, for Matt Patricia.
Okay, if the Lions win, I will get that shirt and I will wear it with pride. We
have a deal. I love this.
Virtual shake on it.
We should do this more often.
Every week we can pick a lock, and if our lock is wrong, then this will be the situation. Yeah,
that's fair.
Even if we do jerseys, I'll get a better jersey collection, so I'm not going to complain.
But I mean, the fact that you would have you're a Bears fan.
Matt Patricia.
Matt Patricia, yeah, that's something right there. Who you got in this game?
Oh, I forgot to pick the score. I have Arizona 31, Houston 10.
31-10.
Yeah, it was close.
You think JJ Watt will have a sack?
I'm gonna give JJ Watt a sack and a half, and 2 tackles for loss.
Fair enough.
Just off the top of my head, random stats. Just why not?
Yeah, I don't think Houston stands a chance in this game. I just don't even think it's going to be anywhere near. Sorry, Houston fans. It's the reality. It's time to face it. But hey, Astros are going to play tonight, and they're playing in Houston.
Oh, so they have the trash cans on their side, yeah?
We have the trash cans over reverse there. Moving on. This is going to be a fun game. I actually didn't know exactly who I should pick in this game. Indy at San Francisco.
I think that the Chiefs-Titans game is probably more likely game of the week because it's, I think, better teams. Mm-hmm. But I think, honestly, this is going to be the best game of the week. Yeah. I know I crap on the 49ers literally every episode of the podcast we have. So, with that being said, I do have the Colts winning, but it's close. I have 24-21 Colts.
Okay.
I think, honestly, as much as I crap on the 49ers, I think this game could go either way. I think it'll be defense versus defense.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz, honestly, has not been that bad this year. It's basically Carson Wentz versus Carson Wentz with a different name and a better jawline. So, like, it's going to be like it's the same team versus the same team, honestly. I think it'll be a very close game, but I do have the Colts taking a slight advantage.
So I think the game can go either way, too. And as much as I defend the 49ers every week, I think the game can go either way. I think Indy's played very well in some games and still lost, unfortunately. And Jimmy G's coming back. Listen, this is assuming they stay healthy throughout the entire game, which is very unlikely for both Carson Wentz and Jimmy Garoppolo. I actually have the San Francisco 49ers winning the game 28-24. So your score, but then 49ers go right back down the field late in the fourth quarter and I guess score a touchdown to win it. So, hey, I'm glad we have 3 disagreements this week.
Maybe next week we'll have 4. On a side note, who's the 49ers' third-string quarterback?
Does it matter?
Well, hear me out.
If
Carson Wentz goes down, they have Sam Ellinger. If Garoppolo goes down, Trey Lance is also out. So it's
but it wasn't it. Oh my God, I can't remember. He played last year. Is it Nick Mullins?
No, Nick Mullins is in Philly now. No, he was in Philly. He got cut. Nick Mullins isn't on the team, I don't think.
I forgot who it is.
And then C.J. Beathard went to the Lions? No, I want to say it was Philly's backup from last year. Remember the game against the Giants whenever they took Hurts out at the end of the game for, oh God, what is his name? I'm going,
C.J. Beathard. We got to look this up now, don't we?
I think C.J. Beathard is in
Dallas.
He's in Dallas? I think it's Detroit.
Who's he with?
I think it's Detroit. Oh, okay. This is harder to find than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, they're only showing 2.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
I want to say it was the backup from the Nate Stutzfeld. He was the backup for the Eagles last year.
Oh, yeah. So, I don't think I paid attention to that guy at all.
I just remember because of the controversy. But so hypothetically, what do you think the chances are Carson Wentz and Garoppolo both make it out of this game healthy?
What are the chances of both of them making out of here healthy? Like, slim to none.
Yeah, so exactly. It's going to be the battle of the backups. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Dude, one of them, like, there's a good chance when they're like literally running out to the field, they're just gonna trip and fall and like break a toe or something. They're like two of the most injury-prone quarterbacks. How do you mess up both of your ankles on the same play? No, nobody's done that ever. Carson Wentz somehow managed to mess up two legs in one play.
Aaron Donald.
No, don't blame Aaron Donald on that.
Well, the thing is,
like, hold on, let me plant both of my feet and then twist my entire body.
The crazy part is, imagine if those quarterbacks had not great offensive lines, because the Colts and 49ers both have pretty good offensive lines. Like, imagine if they had like the Bears offensive line or the Seahawks offensive line. They don't play a game a year.
Yeah, it's yeah. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm glad we have a disagreement though.
I think we're gonna have a disagreement on another one too.
Is it gonna be the Seattle?
That's the last one we have left, yeah?
That's the only one we have left.
I think we might have a disagreement.
Really?
If you want to go first.
Sure, I can go first. I actually have the Saints winning.
Mm-hmm.
Do we disagree?
We do disagree. I have the upset alert, you know?
Is it because they're going to sign Cam Newton? Because
Even if they sign Cam Newton, they would not win, nor would he start this week. I just feel all of my upsets, I don't have good enough reasons why I feel like there's upsets. It's a gut feeling. I think the Seahawks upset them. They may have a terrible, terrible defense, but they're playing Jameis Winston, who has been better this year, but he also does turn the ball over a lot. And, you know, Jamal Adams, the best in the nation, he's maybe he'll finally get an interception for like the second time in his career.
Yeah, listen, I just don't trust Seattle anymore. Like, Seattle had one reason for me to trust him, and it was Russell Wilson. And unless he's going to do some voodoo magic from the sideline to make the ball just, you know, go wherever he wants it to go, I just don't trust Seattle anymore. I used to have so much respect for Pete Carroll and his coaching, but I don't know what happened. I just don't. I mean, he's struggling, and that defense is struggling. And as much as Geno Smith has looked so good, the two games that he's played now, half of the first game, who were they playing? They were playing. Who did they play?
The first one is the Rams.
The Rams.
Which is one of the best defenses in football, and the Steelers.
And the last week against Steelers, right? He did throw a pick in the very end where they had a chance to win against the Rams.
That was the receiver. I mean, it wasn't a great decision anyways, but the receiver did fall down on that.
Fair enough. He fumbled the football against the Steelers in overtime, and all they had to do was go and kick a field goal.
It is the two best, probably debatably the two best defenses in football, though. So you got to cut him a little slack for not playing in 4 years.
Okay, yeah.
I know what you're saying. Like, I'm not gonna debate that. I don't think the Saints can win this game. But
you're saying the Saints' weakness is probably their quarterback situation.
Hear me out.
Right? So their defense is still good.
I don't think it's a bad defense. It's not as good as a defense as the last.
They're not. I get it. And I'll give you that.
And Geno Smith MVP tour starts the now, so you know.
Listen, I also looked up because originally, like, I didn't know who to pick on this game simply because, like, Saints are also extremely inconsistent, right? Like, what are you gonna get this week? Are you gonna get James Winston, who decides to throw 4 picks and 0 interceptions, or 4 touchdowns and no interception? Or 4 picks and 0 touchdowns, or 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions? Like, you never know. But yeah, so I have Saints winning 31-24. What did you have?
I have Seattle 24, Saints 17.
I like how all of these games is just like, if the opposing teams just go back and score one more time, that's the score that I got. Actually, that's not true here, but
is that 4 differences?
We disagreed on Seattle New Orleans game. We disagreed on the Indianapolis San Francisco game. We disagreed on the Philly Las Vegas game. Right? Oh, and then we disagreed on Dolphins in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's 4.
Nice.
Oh.
That's awesome. So those are the picks.
Which I need to get all 4 of those right, basically, for me to come back on my terrible picks from last week.
Exactly. You are currently. I'm keeping tally of this. You're currently 2 games behind me.
So
the 2 games you disagreed with me last week.
okay, so basically that means that New Orleans, San Francisco, the Raiders, and Atlanta are guaranteed to win. Yeah.
Probably.
I was so confident last week, and it was
and the Chiefs in Washington's probably gonna win. We both picked their opponents to win the game.
I just like I don't even mind getting a few wrong, but 7-6 is so bad for predictions.
Yeah.
Especially last week, I was talking a big game, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's like this week's like, it's all obvious who's gonna win these games, and then I was wrong almost half the time.
Well, I mean, we were both wrong on a few. I mean, who would have thunk that Jackson was gonna have their first win?
Would ever win a game again?
Yeah. Yeah, after 20 games losing. You know what's funny? Did you know the kicker got random drug test after that?
Yeah. I saw it on Twitter. He's not even verified on Twitter. Oh. Their kicker. I saw his tweet, and he's not even verified. But yeah, he just said he got drug tested.
That's so Jacksonville.
Myles Garrett gets drug tested like twice a week.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, those arms, man. He shouldn't have went into that.
The sleeveless jersey.
That man is a beast.
He'd sacked the Bears like 4 times, I think.
Was it not more than that?
It was 4 or 5.
I thought it was more than 4.
It may have been 5. It was 5. It was 4 or 5. It was in between those.
One of those. Oh well. All right. I think we've been going at it pretty good. We have our picks in. We'll see what happens this Sunday/Monday night, and we'll go from there. I'll see you again next week. Do you have anything to add before we call it a day?
I think that you should go ahead and pre-order the Davis Mills jersey just in case. But
absolutely not, sir. Absolutely not. I think that I was just somewhat being nice to the Houston Texans by giving them 10 points in this game.
I mean, I gave them what? I gave them 10. So, okay. I mean, I kind of like, in a sense, I think it'd be funny if the Texans won, just because.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Has anyone bought a Davis Mills jersey besides his family?
Probably not.
You can be the first one.
Yeah. Watch Davis Mills goes on to be like a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and nobody has his like.
Towards the draft time last year, they talked about him being maybe a first-round quarterback, like sneaking into the first round.
That's funny.
Didn't happen, obviously, but
yeah. Hey, I'll say this: he randomly has like some great throws, and you're just like, whoa.
Oh, was it again? There was like
Patriots?
I don't. Yeah, was that the one where it was just
I'm pretty sure it was against the Patriots. He was watching the guy was playing. You're just like, dude, like what? How is like? Why are we making fun of this guy? And then like
first round pick right there.
What's that?
So he's a first round pick right there.
Yeah. Well, and then of course 4th round hits, and it's like, oh, like let's get Kyle Shanahan on the phone and ask him what he wants to do now. Just plummet and just lose this game. That's what they did against the Patriots.
I think Davis Mills is going to be like I mean, if he does become a Super Bowl winning quarterback, that would be pretty funny. I
would regret not having a jersey.
That is true. Maybe I'll buy a Davis Mills jersey just in case.
Fair enough. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to call it a day. If you guys have any comments on if you disagree with both of us, or if you think Davis Mills will actually be a Super Bowl winning quarterback, feel free to comment. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Cool Sports Guy, and we'll see you guys back again next week. Until then, have a great time and enjoy some football. Bye, Jared.
All right, have a good one.